So I'm listening to the WABC radio, and they invited the governor, and she's been claiming she's want to take cell phones from kids, including this Eric Adams. He said he was going to have a reset when his admission started. And anytime they start saying that, people were trying to steal my cell phone. I'm recording all that police brutality. I think she's using code word for having the police arrest me and lock me up and take my cell phones. So this governor needs to be arrested for inciting, police abuse on civilians. I'm documenting the abuse all over the place with my cell phones. And each time that they have their criminal gangs claim that my cell phone belongs to them, and the police will arrest me in the bathroom, and they'll find out, it's my cell phone, it's not theirs, and the police will apologize, and they'll say it's me, that they say, I'm the one that's disorderly. I didn't explain it quietly to them. I'm like, we came to attack me in the bathroom on Chambers Street. So they're just interviewing them. This Governor Oko, so they're going to be taking cell phones, and they're talking in codes. They say criminals in America always talk in codes like that. So I criticize this Governor Oko, I criticize Trump, I criticize Eric Adams, and I saw somebody that looks like my mother's daughter. She was walking in front of the Chambers Street station where they arrested me last month on the day synonymous with her birthday. She was born on August 14. They arrested me last month, November 14, 2025. And they said somebody said I stole a cell phone, and the person knocked my head on the wall, and they're trying to kill my mother. Said that daughter Bolale moves with a killer gang. So in front of the Chambers, today is December 22, 2025, around I said roughly between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. There's a camera there in front of the Chambers train station, number 2 line. And she was standing in front of me. I was carrying all my bags. So my mother said she moves to the killer gang, and she was born in America. I don't know, the narcotic gang, and she killed my mother. My mother said it was poisoning her food. We can't have fish poison. And as I was listening on the radio, and they were saying your mother is here on the radio. Her mother gets surveillance society and immigration case. And this governor also passed a law that adults can adopt other adults. So I don't know what's going on. So I've been trying to sue immigration. I've been trying to sue the police for taking my home, and I've been trying to sue. The police took my home in 2010. Wrongfully, my mother was living on Staten Island, and I've been trying to sue the Bellevue Hospital, where my mother said after the adults poisoned her, she fled to Bellevue Hospital from Pennsylvania in 2015. And on May 20, the drugs showed up in the hospital. They were pretending to be homeless also, inciting the hospital to mistreat my mother. Because in America, in New York, if you're homeless, they will mistreat you worse. And I was listening on the phone with my mother, as my mother was telling the Jamaican nurse that she told the Jamaican nurse that she needs her body position change because she's under a ventilator and life support machine. And the Jamaican nurse told her you're going to be in that position for a long time. Nobody's going to change the position. So I'm not going to. The Jamaican nurse, she's not going to change my mother's position. And the other people that would care to change their position have gone on break. So my mother said she was going to sue the hospital. That was the last I heard from my mother. It was on a Sunday. She died on Wednesday, May 20th, 2015. So Tuesday was 19, Monday was 17, so 16, Sunday, I listened to that conversation. Then I spoke with my mother briefly on Monday. She told me she's too tired to talk with me. She told me she wants to go to sleep. I called her really late at night, she said she wants to go to sleep. Then Tuesday she didn't pick up the phone. Wednesday she told me she was dead. I was born on a Wednesday, July 8, 1981. So, and they killed my friend Eric Garner on July 17 as he was trying to help me. They killed him July 17, 2014. I used to go to a Black American church called Bishop Jordan Ministries in Manhattan, Upper Manhattan. And he used to say, even I was born on July 8, he used to say July 17 is also July 8 according to God. So God always had numbers. So 17 will be added by God 1 plus 7, 8. And they killed him after I met God and said he was going to help me. And they killed my mother on a Wednesday. So my mother was telling our daughters were moving with a bad gang and they were trying to kill her. I was born on a Wednesday. So it's like they injected my mother with some powerful drug to kill her on that Wednesday. Because when I saw my mother's body, they only showed me a picture. I feel like, And my mother said when somebody dies, watch the person's face. So they're terrorizing me, speaking in codes. And this governor needs to be arrested. She placed up a lot of National Guard soldiers. Around 2022, there was a snowstorm, and she's supposed to move the soldiers to Buffalo, but she instead kept them at the World Trade Center when nobody used the bathroom. And they'll terrorize when I'm using the bathroom. And she used to say things like, some of you, we don't want you here. You need to get out of town. You need to go back to where you came from. He's been saying things like that. And some of you don't belong here. So since I've been trying to sue the police, for taking my home, sue the immigration, they've been sponsoring this campaign to terrorize me, to force me to go back to Nigeria. So she's been talking in course with this Casper TDs and this Cotley Slewer. He used to work for WABC Radio. He now works for WOR. And he's saying the WABC, they're dangerous, that they're into all kinds of practices. Anytime I listen to WABC Radio, they always talk in code also. Because the FBI guards the WABC Radio. Because when Cotley Slewer was working there, he said the Italian mafia tried to shoot him. So since then, they placed FBI there. Now that Cotley Slewer has moved over to WOR, but they still have the FBI guarding WABC Radio. And I've been under FBI surveillance since my mother brought me in 2000. When the immigration arrested me at JFK, said there was something wrong with my visa, said they don't allow children here. And they were lying, the children are allowed here with their green card parent, older parent. So I was born in I'm not a woman, so they're talking in court, so they're planning to arrest me. So they did this guy, and steal all my phones that I record, and they've been hiring criminal guys to rob me. They just robbed me of some phones. I had a phone, and I had almost 100 memory cards in that phone. I would open up the phone and put the memory cards in the back, and I was going to upload all those videos. So I went to Dwayne Rich's shop at the train station, and the security guard was telling me, that he doesn't want me to leave my bag near him. I was like, anytime I shop with my bags, your security guard always follows me around and says, I'm stealing stuff and puts in my bag. Let me leave it with you by the door. I say, if you leave it, your stuff is going to be stolen. I said, please. Because every time I shop with my bag, and they don't have enough space for my bags, the aisle is too small. So I said, let me leave my bag with you, but you always call the police on me, say you suspect I'm stealing stuff. I don't want you to call the police on me. And as soon as I left my bag with him, when I came back, I discovered somebody put their hand in my bag and stole my phone. And then there's this guy called Jim Jones, and he's been exchanging insults with somebody. I always see him around this area also. I think he talks about me a lot. And they had a talk about that 50 Cent got his documentary videos from a phone that was stolen from P. Diddy. And so there was some insult being exchanged that the phone wasn't stolen. And so some of you, you were just homeless, and you were. I forgot the term they use for homeless people. I think they call us not vagrants, but scrapers or something. They have an American term. I don't really know that word anymore. For people that just hang out in other people. And trespass into other people's places, and so I guess that's what they're going to claim. So they're always talking codes, and a lot of it is related to me, but they say criminals in America talking code just to avoid being held accountable in the court of law. So I guess after they stole my phone and their memory cards, almost 100 memory cards I was hiding, I opened up the back compartment phone and I put the memory cards at the back of my. It was an Obama phone I got from the welfare office, and since then, they've stolen that phone now with the numerous memory cards I was saving in that phone inside the back compartment. So I guess in the future, they may want to find videos from that memory card and turn it to a documentary, and then claim, if I dare try to sue them, they may claim, I abandoned my phone, somewhere, and they picked it up and they didn't steal it. And after they stole my phone, then they brought their police to arrest me on November 14, 2025, on the day synonymous with my mother's daughter's birthday, Bolali, August 14. And they claim I'm the one that's stealing phones. So I think they believe they can market. They want me to be killed eventually horribly by the police. They told me I'm going to be killed like Diallo, and they're going to have this black American gang working with my mother's daughters, sell my life story to all these TV stations and make money for the gang. So America is engaging in all kinds of genocide, and their governor is also encouraging it. And my mother, before she died, she was reaching out to the police in New York that donors lured her to Pennsylvania, saying, because my mother was homeless with me here in New York after the police took her home. And the donors told her that she should come to Pennsylvania, they give her $500 so that she can come back to New York and rent a room. And my mother said after they lured her to Pennsylvania, they didn't give her that money. And even that Florida she was staying with, our children would be stealing food from my mother's food stamp. Even though that Flora was working, her husband was working, and my mother was on full time, my mother said she would, as soon as she go to that Pennsylvania, the children, the grandchildren, Yindi and their daughter and Flora, said they were eating my mother's food without permission. So my mother said her food stamp was running out fast. So this can be traced back to 2015 and 2014. That's when my mother moved to Pennsylvania. And the food stamp records from New York City to show that her food stamp was running out fast while she was in Pennsylvania. She had to be buying more food because they said the children were stealing my mother's food, which is elder abuse. My mother was elderly, and she shouldn't have to be taking care of these Flora's children and her husband, Yinde Cheney. And even though my mother won like a lawsuit money, when my mother went to Nigeria, this Flora forged my mother's signature and stole the money in the 1990s. I wouldn't give the money back to my mother. So my mother was trying to sue that Flora, but she couldn't get a lawyer. And this Flora, as my mother said, that Flora put my mother in the backseat of the car and went and hit somebody's house on purpose because my mother suffered from a heart problem. I was trying to get my mother to die early so they can inherit the lawsuit money me and my mother was suing for against the police department. Everybody was helping us with that lawsuit papers. It's called 13 CV 5052. And the police want to kill Eric Garner. So it's been crazy. So I'm the only living witness left. And this Governor Oko is also joining in this. She's been very xenophobic. There was a time they approved driver's licenses for illegal immigrants, and she was working as the county clerk in the courthouse somewhere. And she said she's going to be denying driver's license to illegal immigrants and go against the law of New York. So she's been but now she says she's not a Democrat, but still she's participating in torture of me as an immigrant. So in 2022, I used to use the bathroom at the World Trade Center, and then she put soldiers at the World Trade Center. Anytime I go to the bathroom, they come with me in the bathroom, like I'm under torture, Guantanamo Bay torture. So I won't be able to use the bathroom, they'll be arresting me in the bathroom. Then there was a snowstorm in Buffalo, and the Biden administration said, New York State should get ready to send emergency services to Buffalo. This governor who was so negligent, she left the soldiers at the World Trade Center. She didn't move them to Buffalo. So there was this nurse from Texas. She was working in Buffalo, and when the snowstorm started, she decided to drive home. And she got stuck in the snowstorm and died. She called her family saying that she's waiting for emergency responders. She called 911. And apparently she was waiting in vain because they couldn't find the soldiers, the National Guard soldiers in Buffalo, because they are the only ones that can do helicopter rescue. The local police in Buffalo don't know how to do helicopter rescue. This governor had left the soldiers in Washington to be tormenting me. And they said 40 people perished in Buffalo because the snowstorm was usually harsher upstate in Buffalo, and she should have moved the soldiers upstate, but she left them in World Trade Center. And there was no terror threat to New York City at that time. I believe the terror threat one is usually red or orange. The lights there was like green. There was no terror. There was COVID, so no terrorist was traveling to cause any problem anywhere in the world. There was travel restriction everywhere. And she killed like 40 people due to her negligence. A lot of them are black Americans. I've been trying to get her prosecuted, but the New York State Office of they call them NYSCOE, New York State Commission on Ethics and Governance. They are the ones that can file criminal charges against her and any other government official. I send them messages on Instagram, on Facebook, they ignore me. And I don't have money to be going to court to sue. All the lawyers in America ignore me. I contact the prosecutors, and they said traditionally in New York, if you're not from New York, nobody, they pay you dust. Even this Eric Garner was making fun of me after the police arrested me in 2019. On behalf of my mother's daughters that arrested me on July 23rd, 2019, which a day that's synonymous with my mother's daughter's Flora's son's birthday. His birthday is December 23rd. And they arrested me on July 23rd. They had a guy slap me on the back of my head on bail as I was working for money, and I told the guy to stop doing that. And the police came and slammed me on the floor, and they choked me, stole my drink, and went and locked me in the psych ward. So apparently they're planning to kill me and market a movie about how they killed me and sell the movie. And the pain and torture I went through, my mother said I dropped a movie with a narcotic gang, And the police department believe the best revenge, since I'm suing them and I'm about to sue U.S. immigration, they've killed everyone already. The best revenge is to kill me and have an American narcotic gang that my mother girls affiliated with inherit the money. So they're letting these people steal my money. So this Governor Oko should be charged with terrorism. And this WABC radio, they need to be investigated for terrorism. This Curtis Sliwa was talking on WOR today, December 22, 2025. Did that WABC radio is corrupt to work with them, and I believe it will be the perfect stage. So in case anything happens to me, they plan to arrest me again and steal all my phones, all kinds of cases. They arrested me on November 14, 2025. Said there's a missing cell phone, and the police wouldn't, help me investigate why they arrested me. The police. So they're trying to make it easy in the future for me to be killed, and the movie should be done about me. And the police will say, there was reports of me stealing cell phones, and I may have recorded all the videos on the stolen cell phone. So every movie, every record I made should be credited to the owner of the cell phone. So the police are engaging in exploitation, racketeering, and kidnapping for exploitation. So this is why the police are arresting me and claiming there's a missing cell phone, so that in the future, after I'm dead, they say dead people tell no tale, then all these people can come out and say, they have a right to all the recordings I made on my phone because I stole their cell phone to. So all my cell phone I usually bought at a Target store, and it's usually like $20, $30, $40 at most, as you can see. So in case I'm killed, they can go to Target store. I usually shop at Target store here on Greenwich and Murray Street. As you can see, I have a lot of their bags, and the people there know me. I buy cell phones all the time. I spend my full time card there, and I'm sure that the store, they keep their camera records for they're supposed to keep their camera records for 6 years. But also a FOIA should be done. I've been under idea surveillance since my mother brought me in 2000. So when I'm shopping, buying phones, they can put, in case I'm killed and anybody wants to claim that, they deserve credit to any recordings I made on my cell phone, and and try to use a back channel way to, because I said in case I'm killed or I die, nobody should make a movie about me. And in case they insist on making a movie about me, and somebody's trying to sue and they claim all the things I recorded was on a stolen cell phone, they can find out I didn't steal nobody's cell phone. People should just open IPI to get my record and to show I normally buy cell phones all the time. Because each time I buy a cell phone, it normally falls and it will crack. And I've saved it. I have a lot of cell phones saved in my chest, also 20 cell phones. I put it in my chest pocket. This one, I was born a man, now I'm a woman, but my chest is elevated because I save a lot of cell phones there. So this is about robbery. This Governor Oko is ganging up with black American gangs, and their plan is to arrest me on other false pretenses and kill me, and then claim I'm stealing cell phones. I'm crazy. They arrested me November 14, and they told me I have to show up in court. And I heard that when you show up in court, they'll force you to go to a mental home, and then you won't be able to come. And they say in mental homes they will abuse you some more. So this Governor needs to be arrested for terrorism and joining up with a black American gang to try to kill me as a foreigner and steal my potential lawsuit money. So this state is a place of terrorism. Curtis Sliwa would know something about this. There's another guy called Tramel Thompson. He's been, before I got arrested at that Chambers Street station, he was posting a video. He was posting messages on his Instagram, talking in code. Because I used to go to the Target store, which is on the same street. It's on Chambers and Murray, the Target store. And every time I go to the Target store, they will bring the fire ambulance and they will start pressing fire alarm. Bam, 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 bam. As I'm using the bathroom. And I'll come out of the bathroom and say, what's going on? I say, well, just give me test service. I'm like, how come I do the test service at around 11 p.m.? I normally shop there late. They close at 11 at that time. I said, why? I said, we're just doing a test service. So this Tramel Thompson, Before I got arrested at that Chambers Street, which is train station, Chambers Street, 123 train, that Tremaine Thompson said, stay out of the buildings. And he did a fire alarm sign. And posted a video on his Instagram. It's an MTA union boss. Said, stay out the buildings. So he was telling me to avoid, I believe he was sending a code to me, that I avoid any indoor bathrooms. Anytime I try to use the bathroom in the train station, they always try to arrest me. And I don't know where I could be using the bathrooms at. So they're trying to lure me to, and a guy took me home one time in 2020 when they locked up all the bathrooms in the train station. A guy took me home and raped me. So, and this is the reason why they don't want me to be using indoor bathrooms. They hope to eventually kill me, and they don't want anybody and claim I'm crazy, that I'm crazy and the person has to kill me, but they're afraid, if they kill me, other people that use the bathroom with me will file a lawsuit that, yep, that person was crazy, that person's attacked us in the bathroom, but we didn't want to say nothing. So they're afraid that, the lawsuit money, any money I have, other people will come and fight for it. So this is why they want to destroy any track record of me, because all the train stations, they have cameras. So that's why they want me to be using bathrooms outside the buildings. Because a lot of their bathrooms have cameras. So they're afraid when they kill me with their police and they claim I'm crazy, everybody will file a lawsuit. So yeah, we used to be in the same bathroom with that person. Yup, that person was so crazy. We just didn't want to say nothing. So so this city is engaging in terrorism. They killed my friend Arugana. That governor who needs to be arrested right away. She works. They said that she's a lawyer and her son works for the FBI. I said a lot of these FBI agents are corrupt. So this is why that Tremaine Thompson knows something. In case I am killed, he needs to be arrested. I see him all the time. He comes around me. I said, sir, can you help me? And he would tell me to send him an email. And lately posted a message on Instagram that he has to get paid. He doesn't work for free. I don't know what to bribe him with. I'm not looking to marry anybody. And some people, they say before they can never have to marry them. No, I'm not looking to marry anybody. So in case I'm killed, this governor needs to be arrested for joining a gang that's trying to rob me as a foreigner. I'm trying to sue U.S. immigration. I'm trying to sue the police. The U.S. immigration arrested me wrongfully when my mother brought me in 2000. And I'm trying to sue the NYPD. They took my home wrongfully. Me and my mother's home was tied down wrongfully in 2010. Arugana was happening in 2014. They killed him. So please, I think Kodisira knows something about what is going on. And Tremaine Thompson is a worker for the MTA, knows something's going on. But this governor needs to be arrested immediately. I'm going to send this video to her, and she doesn't respond back to me. So silence is complicitness. So Governor Oko, your threat of getting cell phone from the kids. I'm not a kid, but I was wrongfully diagnosed as crazy. My mother also was wrongfully diagnosed as crazy, and she was locked up and killed in 2015. My mother's daughter lied on me that I'm crazy and locked me up in the psychiatric ward in 2001. I had to call my lawyer in New York to tell them to help me call the psychiatric hospital in Pennsylvania to tell them I'm not crazy. I had an immigration case, and I was telling the hospital that I had an immigration case. So my mother concocted a plan to kidnap me from New York where I had my immigration case, because my mother was tired of taking care of me. Because as soon as I came to America in 2000, the immigration arrested me. Said they don't want children here with mothers. My mother had a green card, and she brought me here. So my mother was tired of taking care of me because the lawyers would take money and run away. So my mother concocted a plan. She took me to follow her to Pennsylvania, where her daughters live, Bolali and Flora, from New York. And she said we're going to come back the same day. So when we got to Pennsylvania, I was kidnapped. I was trying to get back on the car that, whereas I was trying to drive my mother to the Greyhound station so that she can come to New York from Pennsylvania. So I got into the car, and after I told me to get out. And my mother pretended that she's getting out also. So I was getting out with my mother, and my mother quickly get back in the car. As I tried to get back in, the Flora hit me with the car and drove away in front of 636 Industry Street, Pittsburgh, PA 15210. This was around 2001. And Bolali called 911, said I was attacking them with a weapon, and the police came and removed me and took me to the psych ward. Mercy Hospital. I just arrived from Nigeria at that time. So I told them, that my mother and her daughters, Bolali and Flora, concocted a plan to kidnap me all the way from New York, where I was staying with my mother, and bring me to Pennsylvania, and they hit me with a car, and they want me to miss my immigration hearing so I could be ordered deported in absentia. So the hospital told me they spoke with that Bolali, and she told them that I don't have an immigration case, that was just delusional. So I called my immigration lawyer in New York, Ralph DiPietro, and they called the hospital and told them I didn't have an immigration case. So the hospital apologized to me and said they were sorry, and they released me, but they didn't arrest that daughter, Bolali and Flora, in 2001. 14 years later, they framed my mother up as crazy, got her killed in 2015. I saw that Bolali today on Chambers Street. You know, at the same place where I was arrested on November 14, 2025, last month, which is synonymous with a birthday. So the FBI is hiring, you know, American gangs, some of them which I'm a family member. She was born in America, she has an American passport, to terrorize me. They say they torture foreigners like this in Guantanamo Bay and make the person commit suicide. But I'm not suicidal. You know, so there's a camera in front of that Chambers Street train station. Today's December 22, 2025. As I was walking by around 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., I saw a woman. She stood in front of me and was blocking me. I said, you know, and a guy said hello to her. He's an African, you know. I was right behind her with my bags, and this was around 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. As soon as I came here, you know, between 12 p.m. and 4 p.m., some woman came and bumped into me, and they've been having women bump into me all day. You know, I was born a male, I'm not a woman, and they've been trying to lure me with women. I guess, you know, they want to kidnap me and rape me before they kill me and claim, you know, I wasn't even gay, I had so many children, and had those children inherit the money. So this Governor Oko is engaging in criminal scheme whereby she got so many black Americans killed around 2022 when there was a snowstorm, and she should have positioned the National Guard soldiers. That's the only branch of the U.S. military controlled by state governors, and she should have positioned those National Guard soldiers in Buffalo, but she kept them at the World Trade Center to hide there and be terrorizing me. And that World Trade Center, there's no purpose for them having soldiers there, because that World Trade Center, you know, the snow can't get into that World Trade Center. And they needed those soldiers to be in more emergency zone, like Buffalo, and 40 people perished. And the family of the black American nurse that was driving in the snow and got stuck, called 911, and they told her to wait in the snow. They were going to send an emergency rescue, but they couldn't find the soldiers to bring to her, so she died, covered in snow, and 40 other people died with her in different parts of Buffalo. So that governor is in trouble. She's killing black Americans. She's a criminal. So Governor Oko, you're a criminal, and you're sending coded messages on WABC radio that you want to take cell phone from the kids, and you also approved a law whereby adults can adopt other adults here in New York, which is kind of cool. And they're stealing my green card. I guess they're trying to render me mentally incapacitated and have my mother's daughters adopt me, that Bolali, and then lure me away from America where I can be killed outside and steal all the money. So my mother said that daughter is part of a dangerous gang, but you, Governor, you're going to be arrested, you're a criminal, and the way my friend in Ghana was killed, I've been trying to get you to investigate. You wouldn't investigate, but now you're going to go for all your crimes. I'm going to send this video to Mandani, and he has to do something. You white criminals, your ancestors, you know, in Ireland, you know, they enslaved people, and you never paid a reparation, but you're going to pay. You're a criminal woman, you Governor Oko, and I'm going to contact FIFA. Stop sending threats that, you know, they say a lot of criminals talking in Nando. And she came on WABC radio and saying they're going to be taking cell phone from kids. And anytime she says that, they'll try to arrest me at Stanley Ferry, they're calling the police on me, you know, for no reason, scaring me from using the bathroom. You know, and they said, you know, once they declare you crazy, you know, they can treat you like a child. And, you know, there's this Oklahoma Disability Center. They said, you know, a lot of the mentally retarded people there get raped in Oklahoma, and it's very hard for them to get justice for these people because the jury won't believe them. They said there's such a stereotype of crazy people in America that the jury won't believe these people, even when they have bruises, and they criminally charge the mental home workers with beating up these people. They'll claim the mental home workers will claim the crazy person hit them first, and they were just defending themselves, and the jury would go along with that story. So please donate to my Cash App, everyone, NYC Homeless, so I can get a hotel room and I can hire a lawyer. They are trafficking young immigrants. They've already killed my mother, and they're harassing us under this Trump immigration policy. They've killed my mother, and I'm getting robbed all the time. My mother said her brothers that were born here, Bolani and Flora, they are part of a narcotic gang that kill people for money. And this Governor Oko may be affiliated with that gang. She's helping the police terrorize me. I can't use the bathroom anywhere. And there's an MTA worker, Clement Officer, that's saying, stay out the building. So apparently they don't like me using the indoor bathrooms in the indoor because all their bathrooms have cameras. At some point, when I used to use the Prospect Park train station bathroom, they remove all the cameras. And I was recording everything. So anytime I use the bathroom in the train station, they'll go and remove the camera. Like, what's going on? So they start removing the camera. Then they lock up the bathrooms from 2020 to 2024. And the guy took me home and raped me because I was looking for a bathroom to use in his house. and he said he wants to marry me right away so he can get any of my money. So they're sex trafficking me, and they believe it's gonna be hard to get a stranger to marry me because I don't agree with that. So now their plan is to have my mother's daughter declare me mentally ill and have my mother's daughter Balanli. I've been seeing her in this neighborhood. She lives in Pennsylvania, but she's been following me around. I saw her today between 12 and 3 p.m. And as soon as she followed me, some women were rubbing their body on me, rubbing their breast on me all over, this train station. And on my way here, one woman was even backing up her booty to me like this. And I have a little child backing their booty. So these are child traffickers. They are abusing these children. I believe that the camera here on Chambers and Broadway will pick it up. They have little children drag their booty back to me. So this governor needs to be arrested for having a gang, sexually molesting children, and So this if Maxwell Gaslin, I don't know how to pronounce her name. She's the British lady. She's a British American lady that was arrested with Epstein. Can be in prison. This American lady, Governor Oku, to be arrested for. And she says she puts more police into the subway. And this one's going to help me. And she's saying if you don't like the presence of police in the subway, walk. We don't need you to subway. And they've been trying to kick me out of the subway because they're afraid. They want to kill me as a crazy person, but they're afraid the more I stay in the subway, especially I use the bathroom, I have diarrhea, the more people can then claim that, yep, that person was crazy, quite all right, and we need lawsuit money. Thank you for killing that person. Some people don't want to help me, but they want to exploit my situation. And this is what America has become. So FIFA is not safe to bring the World Cup here. As I have diarrhea, they're trying to kill me. They really want me to go out there, go get married, and the person will kill me in the house, and they won't investigate the murder, and the person will inherit the money. But all of their plan, I'm foiling it. I don't go marry anybody. I stay in the subway, and I use the bathroom. So you just want to kill me in the bathroom. To cut their losses early, and any claimant that come, they think it's better to kill me early in the bathroom, so that they only have to pay a few claimants, that will claim, yeah, that person was crazy, quite alright, who used to attack us in the bathroom, then make me wait in the subway forever before killing me. And the more I use the bathroom, the more people can make more claims that, so they're human trafficking in America. My mother's address are part of a narcotic gang, and they're targeting Africans to rob and deny me access. So FIFA is not set to bring the World Cup here. Please, worldwide, donate to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. I solemnly swear under United States perjury laws and other relevant laws and U.S. Constitution that I'm seeking non-conditional charitable financial donation to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, or to me in person, and I'm not looking for marriage and or surrogacy and or membership in any gang. And they have to investigate Nigeria. FIFA is not helping me, and they've been trying to get Nigeria to qualify for the World Cup, trying to cook and miss. They said Nigeria couldn't qualify and was supposed to be Benin. They're supposed to make the playoffs, and all of a sudden they said one country withdrew from the African qualifiers, and they said Nigeria now qualified, in place of Benin. And now they're saying the Congo, they defeated an illegible player, and the Nigeria may have to go to the playoffs instead of Congo. So the Nigerian government has not been helping investigate nothing. And I think FIFA president is friends with Trump, and I think they're trying to reward Nigeria for not helping me. And my passport has been stolen, my group has been stolen. The Nigerian government didn't help me. Even when I was locked up in the psychiatric ward wrongfully in 2015, the Nigerian government wouldn't help me. So please, I appeal to the Congolese Football Federation. I'm an important witness. Please donate money to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, non-conditional charitable donation. I could serve as a witness to you, because this FIFA, they're not fair. America has been abusing immigrants like me, and I've been telling FIFA to investigate what is going on, that they need to have a special commissioner appointed to look into immigrants being denied access to the public bathrooms in New York City, and so that any immigrant that's arrested in the bathroom, they say Penn Station is where they carry trains come here from Canada to drop off people and go back to Canada, and trains come here from Mexico. And for the work of that Penn Station, 34th Street in Manhattan, will be used by the World Cup visitors and players, most possibly, to attend the World Cup matches, soccer matches. They say in that Penn Station, the immigration and the local police force are arresting immigrants in the bathroom, and especially the gay ones, they'll set them up and arrest them. And each time I go to that Penn Station, I use the women's bathroom. And I was born a male, but I'm not into women. I'm not a woman myself. And they always try to arrest me in that bathroom. So I've been telling FIFA to investigate it, at least appoint a commissioner to investigate the abuses of people in bathrooms and put a number in the bathrooms that if you're ever arrested in the bathroom, please call this 800 number or call this phone number, and we'll hire our own prosecutor to investigate the police or whoever is harassing you. Because they're leaving people unsanitary. And I even advise that they should have a time slip that it'll give you 30 minutes to use the bathroom and give you a time slip machine that would say what time you went to the bathroom. If you went to the bathroom at 6 p.m. and you're supposed to leave at 6:30, so you can put a time slip machine and like a time slip paper in front of the door, showing you're in there from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. so nobody will come and bother you until your 30 minutes up. And somebody comes and bother you early, the person can be arrested. So they say during the slavery in America, they used to dehumanize black people by not letting them use the bathroom. So now they're targeting us Africans. My mother also, before she died, she used to soil herself because she became incontinent and said it was so hard for her to find a bathroom. So this is one of the ways they bully us. They said, under the slavery in America, only whites are allowed to use the bathrooms. The blacks have to go outside. It's so cold outside. And, it's not sanitary, so there's risk for cholera. They say in Europe during the Dark Ages, when the Europeans were poor, they used to die of cholera because they didn't have proper bathrooms. They couldn't flush, they couldn't wash their hands, and they would just use the bathroom anywhere outside, and they would die of cholera. So there's a risk to cholera, and there's a risk of people being robbed. My green card has been stolen. As a homeless, and the police wouldn't help me even they joined in stealing my green card. The immigration gave me 2 green cards by mistake when my case was over in 2008. My case number is 779544628. So they gave me 2 green cards by mistake. In case I get arrested by the immigration, that's the way to contact me. You have to have my file number 779544628. So the immigration gave me 2 green cards by mistake. My mother kept one for me. I kept one for myself. In 2015, when my mother's daughter killed her, they stole that green card, and the police then arrested me in 2019, stole the other green card I had on me. And they arrested us immigrants who tried to use the bathroom and stealing our stuff. Another immigrant I know is from Senegal. He's homeless. As soon as I started talking with him, he said he fell asleep one day and they stole his green card and passed me. He said until I started talking with him, nobody really knew where he was always quiet by himself. But as soon as they had me on the immigration surveillance, so anybody I talked to, they'll rob them. But they rob people in general also. Even there's a black American rapper, his name is Nas. He was rapping about he used to steal green cards from foreigners. It's now worth almost $1 billion. They never arrested him. Even though stealing somebody's immigration papers is under the laws here, it tantamount to imprisoning the person because the statute of limitations is extended. It's a forced imprisonment, it's enslavement, it's human trafficking, because once you steal someone's immigration papers, the person can't travel freely, and it's very hard to get the replacement because the immigration always needs an up-to-date ID to replace your immigration document. So they left me straight after they stole my green card in 2019. I used to work as a home health aide, home nurse, where I could make up to $30,000 a year. Since they stole my green card in 2019, I can't find work. I'm on the street begging for money. I can't even find a bathroom to use. I finished high school in Nigeria at 15. And now I'm 44. I can't even graduate from college. These are all the immigration issues I have. They're robbing me all the time. My mother said they used to steal like U.S. passport. So the Republic of Congo, please help me. This Governor Oko is a criminal, and she's joining with or either she's a criminal or she's engaged in criminal type activities. Whether she's aware or not, I'm not a prosecutor. This has to be taken to court. And there's an American gang. They're robbing us friends. They're working with my mother's daughter. They've killed my mother. Framed us crazy. And once they call you crazy here in America, they can do whatever they like to you. The jury, the court system here, they don't really help crazy people. They look at you as you deserve whatever happens to you. There's a lot of negative stereotyping of crazy people. So Republic of Congo, please investigate the collusion between FIFA and Nigeria, whereby with this Nigeria, they don't help investigate nothing. My mother was killed by daughters, even though Nigeria has a law enforcement agreement with America to investigate crimes that involve Nigeria and America. If a Nigerian defrauds an American, a white American, the Nigerian government will assist the US government to arrest the Nigerian, bring them here to America. But my mother was here, a Nigerian American, and her daughters killed her, stole all her properties, her passports and everything, and stole money my mother has properties in Nigeria and in Ghana, invested in gold there, and the Nigerian government wouldn't help me. They promised to help me since 2019, they didn't help me with nothing. So I'm on the street, I can't even find a bathroom to use. And before my mother was killed, my mother was telling me our daughters were concocting a plan to to kidnap me or and her and lock us up in the mental ward and take control of the lawsuit me and my mother was suing for. Me and my mother was living in New York City, I just lived in Pennsylvania, and we were suing the police for taking me and my mother's home. The court case number was 13 CV 5052. A black American was helping us and regarding the police immediately when I killed them because they had me on surveillance from the FBI because I had an immigration case around that time. And there's this Nigerian musician, 2014, my mother was still alive. She didn't die, she wasn't killed in 2015. And there was this Nigerian musician called Skills. He recorded a song called Shake Body. And he was singing that song. They want to hold him for ransom because he's young, rich and handsome. I think it's Nando talking about the plan to kidnap my mother and, get custody of the potential lawsuit money. Because me and my mother were suing the police department for taking her home wrongfully, and my mother's address were living in Pennsylvania. They had their own homes in Pennsylvania. The address had already stolen a lot of almost $100,000 from my mother, because my mother won a lawsuit money in the 80s because there was a lead poison in my mother's home in the 80s. So in Brooklyn, so my mother won $100,000, and she left that money in America, went to Nigeria. Before she got back, her daughters took the money for her signature. And my mother died poor, homeless. She told me that money was almost $400,000, and they just couldn't give her nothing out of that money. And I said they were using that money to do drugs, to engage in, especially that Balani. I don't know if that friend was into drugs also, because she has sickle cell anemia, so a health problem, and told her to do that. But my mother said she likes to travel abroad. She has 2 children. She would take them on vacation to the most expensive places, spend tens of thousands of dollars, like in Disney World, go to Mexico, the country called Mexico. While I was on the street homeless, and my mother also was in the shelter and on the street homeless. And I said to the dress lawyer to say she comes to Pennsylvania, they will help her with $500 so that she can rent a room in New York. And when she went there, they didn't give her the money. And they were abusing her, trying to kill her, so that they can kill her or declare her crazy and get access to the new lawsuit my mother was filing against the police after they stolen the old lawsuit money in the 80s, like $100,000. And because my mother doesn't speak American English, the daughters speak American English. There's all kinds of racism in America. Depending on the kind of English you speak, if you speak with a foreign accent, the people like this Governor Oku and their police won't help you. So so New York is not safe, the state is not safe, and there's so many people that are weird, but they don't be helping immigrants like me, and they'll just watch you die. And they may never speak out. So please, the Republic of Congo, please, address this FIFA pledge to be fair, and they're not being fair. There was a time, because my father has British ancestry from his mother's side. His last name from the mother's side is McCarthy. So then after my mother was killed, and during the World Cup in France, I believe that World Cup was in 2022. So I was telling people that, please, my mother's been killed here. The authorities here in America don't want to help me, So I was telling people to tell people all over the world to help me. And the British players started kneeling down as they were playing the Americans in France. As soon as that happened, the police started chasing me out of the train station. They told me, I have too many stuff. I can't. And I'm like, I'm a foreigner. I said, this is too much stuff. And I used to push my stuff on a baby stroller. I said, we don't want baby stroller unless you're a woman. I said we only want women with children with baby stroller. And people, I used to put all my stuff in the baby stroller. Now I have to buy, all these luggages, and they don't last too long. I push them around, and there's the outside, the sidewalk has bumps, so it's almost cutting off my tires. And this cuts cost like $20, $30. This luggage costs like $300. Somebody threw it in the trash. Otherwise this luggage costs like $300. I won't be able to afford it. And I used to push all my stuff in a stroller, because a lot of times people put a stroller in the garbage. Anytime they see me, they start to call the police. Only their white people can have a stroller. As you can see, that's a white person with a stroller. That's what I call a stroller. Let me zoom in carefully. That's a stroller. Only the whites are allowed to have a stroller. I can't have it. I don't know if she's black American or not, she's light skinned. It's black American. If I have a stroller like that, they'll call the police to chase me out. They said, we don't want that. It's too dangerous. We don't want you to have that. So they're just trying to kill me. This governor signed a law that they should chase us, poor people like me, outside, use it as an excuse to kill me. So I'm not complying with the order. So this, I know, and around 2014, there was a Nigerian soccer player called Rashidi Yakini. Yeah, they said his family allegedly, you know, exaggerated that he has a serious mental illness, and they tried to lock him up in the mental facility, and he was beaten to death. And his family took over the money, was alleged. So me and my mother was talking about that Rashidi Yakini's case, and my mother was saying that she was in fear our daughters may try to do the same thing to me and her. You know that the way they were talking with people that were like killers in Nigeria, people that ate my mother. I said they always talk to people like that. There was a woman that my father married and he tried to kill my mother. And me and my mother talked about it in my immigration case in 2001 here.